What's up, everybody, and welcome to a matchup from the Defense 3. My name is Vibon, and if you didn't know that by now, then what the heck are you doing here? Nah, I'm just messing with you guys, as this is, again, if you want another version of this casted by Toby, and I think Kuroki in this game, then you can check out youtube.com/joindota, joindota.com, etc. for all the VODs and juicy Defense 3 action. As it looks like it's going to be an AP remake, so I'll actually pause a bit to talk about the picks in this game before really getting to the game, rather than sort of letting it all run through in a nice giant clump, nice giant melting pot of heroes. As Dota is sort of the Staten Island of the world, of the gaming world, because it has all these nice mixture of heroes from all across the world into a nice big melting pot. Of course, this melting pot has heroes who want to kill each other, so I guess it's a little bit dissimilar to the Staten Island situation. But anyway, it's going to be VP versus Liquid, and this is a matchup that was postponed from last week to today. Oh my god. As I'm going to bring this matchup hours after it just been casted by Toei, so, you know, trying to stake my claim in this replay. But still, if you want a different cast, check out Join Dota. But yeah, just going to pause the picks and bans and just talk a little bit about this match. It was given a week's worth of time. I think Liquid was unavailable to get their full roster in, so they had to stand in. But they just delayed it because I guess they couldn't play at that particular date. But in the last 10, Liquid 6-4. Unfortunately, they have been losing to pretty much the top tier teams at the moment, the top 15 teams if you judge the Ghost of Gamers Dota 2 rankings. I mean, they've lost to Navi, Empire, teams like that, who are very strong, but definitely Liquid not looking that strong against the very, very top tier teams, and this is probably one of the challenges that they do desperately want to win against. Meanwhile, VP not looking that strong either, as they are 5-5 and they've lost 3 in a row going into this match to very strong teams, Dignitas, Empire, and Fnatic. So both teams trying to make a statement, and this is actually a pretty significant match. This is not a tiebreaker, but whoever wins this match does pretty much have a monopoly on the second spot in their group in the defense league, guaranteeing them a place in the winner's bracket. So this match actually means quite a bit, so neither team wants to lose, as we're going to see a smoke attempt by VP. I don't think they're going to go for Roshan. They could, but I really find it very unlikely. I think they're probably just going to use the smoke to try to get some wards, and probably try to block off Fluff's jungling pattern, because Fluff is playing the Chen, and Chen already has some sentry wards being placed, but I think this smoke is trying to block off the wards and just make Fluff's life really, really very difficult, and maybe you get some ganks going in the jungle and really just shut down the lane. But we'll choose the players and teams in just a little bit. TC is going to be playing the Queen of Pain, Karak is playing the Chaos Knight, Fluff is playing the Chen, Bulba is playing the Beastmaster, Mike is playing the Wisp. So I'm expecting Chaos Knight Wisp mid, as, oh, Bounty Hunter does reveal himself. Bulba probably top lane, so I guess it'll be TC bottom. So not really the best lane set for Chen. Meanwhile, inside of Virtus.Pro, we're going to have NS playing the Crystal Maiden Airman. Whoa! Because whenever you see Airman, or whenever I see Airman, I just think of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing. Never watched the show, but that's just what I think of Airman and Damon. As Mike gonna poke his head up the hill. No, Mike! Frostbite! Save the mustache! He saves the mustache. The mustache escapes intact. Gonna force Mike to use a little bit of regen right off the bat, but still, not too bad.
The battle begins.
But yeah, I don't watch any Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it was sort of a meme in our senior class of high school. But Airman is actually Illidan. Looks like Jotum Medved is playing Leshak. He's staying in for KSI. Santa's playing the Bounty Hunter, and Tame My Wild is playing the Magnus. And you can see VP already proving to be very annoying, placing 2 aggressive observer wards, as 1 observer ward is placed to counter it. So Chen can immediately deward that one. Looks like they're not going to bother dewarding this one just yet. Maybe they know it has been placed, but this is going to allow the Radiant to creep pull. Of course, if the Radiant do creep pull, that is going to allow Magnus to have a little bit of an easier time. Magnus, once he gets a couple levels in the skewer, can't really be killed as easily as something like a Quap in the middle lane, just because Magnus is naturally a bit more tankier than a Quap, and Skewer has a bit of a shorter animation. You just really have to turn, and then you sort of go vroom vroom, as Fluff is going to be caught out in a very, very awkward position, and he's going to get chain stunned to death. No tether, nothing can save you now, Fluff. Unfortunately, his life was not safe. Maybe he should have a mustache. IX Mike was perfectly safe when that happened, just because he had the stash, obviously. So the question remains, what will Fluff do? Because IX Mike surely communicated that, alright, this camp is blocked off, and actually, I think the Sentry Ward will see this Observer Ward, so I'm not too sure why they haven't countered it already. But it looks like this Observer Ward not going to block off this camp. I guess it's a little, like 1 or 2 pixels off. I think it needs to be like right here to block off this camp. Maybe I'm a bit mistaken. I'm not too sure on the Magic Push Ward. But it does at least block off the pull camp, so that's going to leave Chen pretty much boned in terms of range side jungling, unless they spend a lot of money in terms of Sentry Wards. And looks like Fluff has made his way to the top lane, but unfortunately he already used both the Sentry Wards. So Bounty Hunter should be safe. So overall, Virtus.Pro seems to be doing quite well. And it's up to Kurok and IX Mike to really make a lot of things happen on this middle lane to kill Tailwind over and over and over again. But Tailwind is just going to chill. I think he's waiting to put his second skill point, to whether he needs a point to Shockwave for some easier spam, which he just did, or if they initiate on him, he wanted that extra point to skewer, to escape the wrath of that giant rider. But so far, Liquid in a little bit of a tough situation, as you can see, NS and Leshak camping the spot of the hill, trying to block off any Radiant creep pulls. But IX Mike gonna stay in the lane, try to win this middle lane back, as Magnus does manage to get an Illusion Rune. Fluff trying to desperately get some levels, is level 1 at this point. And we'll see if they try to make a gank on Tailwind. Doesn't have anything like a haste rune or an invisibility rune, so I think Liquid should feel a bit braver, as here comes the tether and the reality rift, but unfortunately the tether breaks! Oh no, IX Mike just a little bit too shy, and that is brutal, because that gives Magnus not only a kill, it gives him his boots, and it gives him experience, and it means that he is just going to be super hard to kill from the next part, because he is level 4. Whereas the Wisp Chaos Knight combination not going to be nearly as high level, so that is already really terrible for the side of Liquid. IX Mike may experiencing a bit of lag, may just underestimating the range of tether. Either way, they are going to forfeit a kill. And you can see Virtus.Pro doing a nice job, already applying a lot of pressure to this bomb tower, going to do some Edict spam, forcing out the glyph. So the next time the push does come in, when one strike is maybe a bit higher level, then TC will have a lot of trouble defending that push, because keep in mind, if you frostbite the TC, or frostbite the Queen of Pain, who is TC in this game, then she can't blink away. I mean, Santa, level 4, if he can get some track kills going, if additional tower gold and map control is given in favor of VP, then Bounty could actually do significant work in this game. And Gyrocopter, where is Gyrocopter? Oh yeah, he's still on bottom, he's still farming it up. 18 last hit. So I think a lot of pressure gonna have to go on Bulba, as usual, as it always seems to be in Liquid games. As, well, I mean, all the Liquid players play fantastically, but a lot of pressure going on Bulba and Korok to really perform and get themselves back in the favor of the mid game. But Fluff able to get his jungling back rolling, is level 3, unfortunately has a pretty shitty creep. Has a Shockwave creep, which can help clear out creep plays pretty quickly, because it does have 600 mana. But other than that, it's not really the best. It gives him some nice HP regen, but I don't know if the Radiant actually want to push the top lane, as it's going to be a rotation of the top lane as well. Tailwind has a haste rune, not yet level 6, but decided to go for the gank anyway. Going to block off Fluff for a bit, trying to go for Bulba, as Shockwave does manage to clip Santa on just the tip, as NS is going to come in. Axe is going to catch off Santa, but looks like Bulba is going to forfeit his life, as Liquid, unfortunately, unable to escape that situation, and Santa just going to teleport back to the fountain, heal himself up. But nice deny on the bottom lane by TC, knowing that Crystal Main was not there, able to get the tower deny before Leshak could really burst down the tower. So that is a small victory for Liquid. That's pretty significant, because if that tower went to the pockets of VP this early in the game, once Barry hit level 6, it would just be a huge gold boost and a lot of confidence for VP, as TC's going to get rocketed. Can Leshak get in position to cast Splurth? No, looks like he doesn't want to die past the creeps. As Tailwind somehow manages to kill IX Mike in middle lane, looks like another failed dive. No, Magnus used reverse. Wow. So nothing is going right for Liquid already. Man, I wonder if I should want to try to catch that kill, as looks like something is going to go right. They're going to use a Roar and a Thunderclap to catch off NS, but meanwhile in the middle lane, Korok manages to die to the Bounty Hunter. Korok was farming with relatively low HP, and Bounty Hunter was just like, okay, track, easy kill of my life. Easiest kill of my life. As Liquid forfeiting a lot of kills early on, and now that Bounty Hunter is level 7, 6 minutes in the game, already has his phase boots. The ganking power of VP could just grow exponentially. If they manage to get a lot of track kills going early on, it's going to be absolutely brutal. So I wonder how Liquid will try to combat this. As Illidan going to continue his farm on the bottom lane, farming relatively safely, not under too much pressure. They know Liquid feel a lot of danger as it's going to initiation on Tamal. Got reality rated and stun. Can he skewer out? No, the skewer animation. Unfortunately, that big bad bus unable to motor on out of there. So Magnus is going to die, but Magnus, he's already level 7, managed to get 2 kills, 3 kills actually. So he's already doing fine. I forgot about the kill on the top lane with that gank. So Magnus shouldn't be feeling too bad about himself. Shouldn't be feeling too emo. But Crystal Maiden might have to back off, because if they initiate on her, there's really not too much that Bounty Hunter can do to save the life of Crystal Maiden, as Ixmec is going to get tracked, and he doesn't have a proper creep to tether. Nice timed by Santa, seeing that Korok was out of position, and that the creep wave was not coming in for the rain. Ixmec really didn't have a good location to tether into. So that means Ixmec gonna give up a track kill, and looks like they want to make a move to get TC as well, but they are gonna forfeit their top tower. Finally a good creep being picked up by Fluff, gonna get some skeletons and getting a slowing creep, but it looks like they're gonna engage on TC. Splurth does manage to catch TC on just the edge. Frostbite and Gyrocopter with the Rocket Barrage cleans up. Did they get a track kill from that? No, fortunately for the Radiant, they escaped that with not a track kill, because that would give the 4 people on the side of VP a nice boost to gold. But now it looks like, oh man, Team Liquid are under a lot of pressure. At least they got a tower without it being denied. So there are always some small benefits. But they want to desperately try to get some map control. They're going to smoke up, but the courier was sent. So if there was a dire ward to spy it off, the dire would be like, huh, what's a courier doing up there? But there was no dire ward up just yet, as VP pretty much all in the range jungle. They're all sticking very close together. This could be a giant engagement as Croc is going to get tethered. Santa is going to get stunned as here comes the Dust Appearance, trying to catch up Santa. Roar goes down onto Santa. He's going to get stunned in place. Santa finally dies, but here comes a reverse by Tamal. Picks off Bulba. Can Stan and Joe to Medved get another stun off? No, he dies to the cast ball. Meanwhile, Korok manages to kill off, or TC managed to kill off the Crystal Mate, and now Tamal has to get the heck out of there as a nice block by Fluff. Holy smokes. As Fluff with that impeccable micro manages to get the perfect block, and Magnus is just like, well, this is awkward. As he just stood there and took his death like a man, or like a Rhino Mantar, as only Rhino Mantars can die. So a huge fight in favor of Liquid went 3-1. As what was that courier doing? Trying to fly, just saying, come on, Korok, try to kill the courier. I guess. I'm not too sure, but it is going to be a smoke attempt, as there is going to be the first pause of the game. As Sec is the call. I imagine this game is probably played on US East, since most of Liquid, I think, is on West Coast, but I could be mistaken. But already some crazy engagements. That jungle engagement, VP, I think, underestimated them, because there was pretty much all 5 heroes of Liquid. Meanwhile, I don't know where Gyrocopter was. He was unable to get a call down off, so I don't think he was in the picture whatsoever, and Santa really couldn't get anything done, couldn't get a track or anything off. But Korok is going to get stunned in place, going to get track killed. Huge bounty going into the pockets of the Bounty Hunter, doing what his job does suggest, as another pause does come in. How do you resume without warn? Says Bulba. Misclick or act, as yeah, he was tabbed. Oh yeah, that sucks. He was using stun. A little bit of weird manners going on by the Russians, as Bulba understandably a little bit pissed, but Tamal did call on pause, or said go, but usually in that situation you are supposed to say, alright, go, and then the other team says go, go, and then both teams can get back in the game. But Korok does end up dying, and that was a track kill as well, but at the very least it did force a dire smoke attempt. But understandably, I'd understand why Liquid might be a little bit miffed Hopefully that won't change the game in any situation. That's going to be a Wisp gank on the top lane, trying to catch off Illidan. Going to axe down the trees. Illidan is surely completely boned, but the call down does miss as well. Well, going to catch off IX Mike, so at the very least they get some sort of revenge. As Frostbite, no, nice tether out means IX Mike and Korok going to escape. And Bulba has a haste and just going to speed on out of there, but Santa spies a Bulba with his little eye. Can he get a track going on? But no, looks like the Dire Supports are not in position to really make anything happen. So Bulba going to be safe for now. Maybe Virtus.Pro felt bad and said, alright, we'll let Bulba live. But I really doubt that's the case. As, you know, Russians. But meanwhile, 7-9 in favor of Virtus.Pro. They do have a tower advantage. Keep in mind, one tower is denied. No, the tower count is actually the same, as I thought the middle tower did end up dying, but it's actually very low. So it's slight tower advantage in favor of Liquid because they were not denied, whereas Virtus.Pro was denied. As looks like Virtus.Pro going to play a bit safer now. Fluff does have access to Anagod, going to go straight up for that mechanism. Fluff actually getting relatively farmed despite the pressure he's been under in the early game. 1-1-3, so that's definitely been able to help him out quite a bit. You know, NS trying to pick some levels. I guess trying to farm up to the treads or trying to bait out a kill attempt by the Wisp and Chaos Knight. But if Wisp and Chaos Knight do teleport out, that Bulba is going to get the axes off, but it looks like Jota Medved gonna reveal himself saying, "Surprise, motherfuckers!" As here comes Bulba. IX Mike, can he get the tether off to support? Where was the tether? Oh, it was on TC, who does manage to pick up a double kill. Nice bait, but here comes Gyrocopter back into the action. Can he kill off IX Mike? IX Mike gonna escape. Nice reverse skewer, as that skewer hit on just the right distance and managed to catch the two-man reverse. So 3-2 in favor of Virtus.Pro, 9 engagement. As, man, that's really unfortunate. And it looks like a tower trade is going to happen as Fluff is going to push the middle lane while the Dire are going to push the top lane. In terms of map control, this middle lane a lot more important. This top lane doesn't really mean too much whatsoever. So Virtus.Pro are going to understandably try to defend this, but they're going to give the tower, not even going to get a tower in return. So a good victory for Liquid in that regard, but they are going to lose a neutral creep. Dun dun dun. Checking out their early game goal graph, slight favor in favor of the Rain. That's a little bit puzzling. And I think that's right before the tower died. So it's actually going to probably dip back a little bit up. Yes, it does. So I guess Rain are out farming. And if you check out the last stats in a sec, you will see that the Rain are out farming the Dire at this point. Despite the track kills on the side Dire and despite the kill advantage. Experience graph, pretty much neutral at this point. So Liquid not in too bad of a shape. As you can see, Gyrocopter miles ahead of the competition, but the next three are all inside of the Radiant. And I imagine Fluff was mecha up. And, you know, IX Mike gonna go for the urn. As Bulba gonna hide himself in the shadows for now, has the arcane boots. Looks like they want to get a gank going on the top lane, but that could be a giant trap. Roar's gonna go down onto Illidan as he's gonna get stunned in place as the Splurth does magic combo. Korok trying to do as much damage as possible. It looks like the first casualty of war is IX Mike. Korok gonna fall as well. The reinforcements of Virtus.Pro too strong, and it's gonna be 3-0. Couldn't even kill off Illidan. Nice bait by Virtus.Pro as they saw the Wisp teleport in and Bounty Hunter made his way, and I imagine they got at least one track kill, probably just one track kill, but still every track kill does give you a nice advantage, and they're going to get a tower as well. Things are not looking good for Liquid. As unfortunately the problem with playing with Chen is that he's not really that mobile, so he can't really help out the Wisp and engage in other than Hand of God. This is going to be a mass exodus of TPs on the bottom lane. Tame Wild trying to catch up to Fluff. Does get the reverse off. Fluff is surely completely and utterly boned. As no, going to get one last parting nuke off, but is going to ultimately just trade his life. Just said, I give up on life. As unfortunately his creep's unable to take that tower, as also Fluff managed to dive. Really unfortunate position for Liquid to be in. 9-16 with some track kills as well. As Virtus.Pro trying to make their way and trying to get that spot in the winners bracket of the Defense 3 playoffs. Meanwhile, Korok has an Ogre Axe, or Ogre Club, just going to go straight in for that BKB. But there is reverse. That's pretty much the only major thing that can stop BKB Chaos Knight. Meanwhile, inside of the range, they do have Beastmaster Roar, which is shorter cooldown to go through that BKB. But Drum's phase boots already finished on the Bounty Hunter. You can see Bounty Hunter, as is typical in most Bounty Hunters, very measly amount of creeps, but just getting his track kills going. And once he hits level 11, track will really start being a big problem. Going to get a lot more gold and a shorter cooldown and a bigger range. So definitely something that cannot be underestimated, as Tim Wild reverse is on cooldown, as a Dire Ward has been placed. Liquid unable to scout out this gank going on, but still, I don't know if Virtus.Pro do want to initiate without the reverse, and looks like they think better of it. Meanwhile, Liquid suspect something's up, just going to stay together for the most part, while Fluff is going to farm in the jungle some more. Fluff's done his job, able to clear off 3 towers. As man, stuttering very, very hard today. Maybe it's just because I'm super excited for this game. I don't know. As looks like there's going to be another push attempt by the Dire. They do have Edict. Level 9 Leshrac with the RDU Bracer in place, but TC going to teleport. Has Sonic Wave to really apply some pressure if there is some teleports bottom. But all 5 members of Virtus.Pro are going to be there. Is Liquid going to try to defend this? No. Edict going to bait out the glyph before casting Edict. Nicely done by Jota Medved, as at this point doesn't really have the mana to really spam an Edict without sort of considering, alright, there might be a glyph in place. It's going to be blink for it, but Magnus revealing the fact that he does have a blink, but still unable to get the proper reverse onto TC. And another tower forfeited by Liquid. Can they get at least a tower in return? They are going to get one, but that means Liquid going to have to get the heck out of there. As nice stuns by Fluff, as Tim out baiting out the reverse. Going to get stun placed by the creeps. Those creeps fighting with a vengeance. Can Fluff's creeps escape? They served him oh so well, as one creep does die, but the other 2 do die. So 1 creep in exchange for a tower. Very much worth it, and nice stuns by Fluff, keeping Magnus from blinking in and really giving IX, Mike, and Karak a really difficult time in that engagement. So Team Liquid trying to fight back, got a tower, so overall it looks like the tower count is yet again even, but 1 tower was denied on the side of Virtus.Pro, so they have a little less tower gold in their pocket, but they do have track, so they're not too miffed at this point, probably. As Santa's still just level 10, as there's going to be a wraparound gank attempt. Keep in mind there is a Blink Dagger up on the Magnus. Will Santa reveal himself? Tame Wild trying to go in, going to initiate onto Fluff, going to skewer Fluff back in. Fluff, you are dead, my friend. You are dead. As there's going to be roar onto Santa. Can they reinforce it? Sonic Wave, nice blinking, trying to catch as many heroes as possible in Sonic Wave. NS channeling his ultimate for a good amount of time, unable to stop it for a good 3 seconds, as here comes the reverse, going to stun IX Mike in place, but no, Tame Wild does end up dying, as looks like Fluff bought back to cast Hand of God, and it was well worth it. Managed to pick up 4 heroes in exchange for a Fluff and stuff. 5 heroes as TC managed to kill off the retreating Leshrac, and Liquid must be feeling super good about themselves. The only thing that went right for that Dire is they got a track kill on Fluff. Other than that, they got completely wiped. Underestimated the team fight on the side of Liquid by a huge amount. And I don't think the reverse by Tame Wild was properly placed. I think if they managed to get a proper reverse, then it would just mean that Liquid would be in a lot more difficult situation. But nice spread by Liquid, and nice job stunning him down, whether it be Wisp or Chaos Knight or a roar by Bulba. And Bulba gonna go straight up for that Aghanim's, trying to counteract some of the range by VP. But Liquid realized, alright, Hand of God's on cooldown, Roar's on cooldown, Sonic Wave's on cooldown. Let's not push this. We don't have any of our good ultimates up. We actually have 0 ultimates up other than Phantasm. So at the very least, Virtus.Pro gonna have their tier 2 tower remain unscathed. As the question is, when will Airman start to get going? Again, like I mentioned in the last game, the problem with Gyrocopter is that he's a strong early game carry because of magical damage, but he's really, really terrible in terms of mid game because of magical damage, or his Rocket Barrage allows you, or requires you to be up close and personal, and doesn't really do as much damage as is in the most part, as looks like anyone is spiking his call by TC. You, says NS. Man, why is VP so mad today? Maybe they're just like, why'd you postpone on Liquid? I don't know. But both teams did agree to the postpone, as the Shockwave not going to scout out Santa, and Fluff might be in a little bit of trouble. Does have the reinforcements in place to probably save himself, as Bounty Hunter not yet level 11, so not going to bother going in. And Fluff just is going to make his way towards his ally, so should be okay, but Karak is going to get skewered back. Alex Mike is going to reinforce with the tether. Looks like Magnetar does not want to use a reverse on just one person, so going to back off for now. Saving that reverse, probably the best move in this situation, as track going down to reveal Fluff. A lot of positioning at this point. TC, does he know what's up? Bulba Interestingly enough, Bulba not going for the Necro 3 against Bounty Hunter, going for the Aghanim's for the increased range and the shortened cooldown. Very good item, Aghanim's is, but I think in this case, Necro 3 would be super good, super useful. Just to sort of stop Santa's shenanigans. But a lot of posturing going around. If the team fight does break out, it'll be a full 5v5 engagement. And it looks like Gyrocopter does just want to finish his BKB, saying, alright, I'm mid-game Gyrocopter, I really just want to finish my items. As again, it'll be a long time before he finishes any DPS item. And looks like it'll be a long time before he even finishes BKB. As the Ogre Club is going to be delivered to Magnetar Tamewild, making his way towards his own BKB. Again, the only thing on the side of Liquid that goes to that BKB is that Primal Roar. As sentry wards being placed, look at the wards being placed all over the map. Liquid just placing wards all across the map, not only to try to get Wisp ganks going off, but just try to catch Virtus.Pro's roams, because they know if Virtus.Pro are roaming with 1 or 2, they're probably roaming with all 5, or at least 3, because Santa is most likely going to be invisible in roaming, and Gyrocopter probably not too far behind, because Gyrocopter really doesn't want to be sort of by himself at this stage in the game, otherwise he will get pretty easily ganked if he's not close to a tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, VP wards look pretty standard for the most part, trying to scout out jungling wards and just scouting out the rune with this ward, as well as ancient stack shenanigans that might be going on with the Bulba. Only a stack of 2 ancients, so not too much gold. As I'm surprised that hasn't been cleared. May Liquid feels like that's a little bit of a weak point, so they really don't want to jungle it at this point. But Illidan gonna continue his farm. Gonna still be about 300 gold away from the BKB, and I imagine Virtus.Pro just itching for a fight. As you can see, they have all their testosterone going. Super mad today, apparently. Maybe they're on steroids. They're on the juice. The Dota juice. As I imagine, steroids don't actually help in Dota, because it's mostly about teamwork, but I don't know. We'll see. But BKB is finished on Illidan. Meanwhile, TC finished in Aghanim's. Bulba, as he finished his own Aghanim's, note 1 component away, just that Blade of Alacrity. Korok's finished his BKB. Hopefully, I wonder if he's going to go back into drums. I imagine he won't, because considering you usually want to get the drums before the BKB. But still a possibility, still has that Bracer, but now I think it would be wise for Korok to try to get some DPS to potentially counter the Gyrocopter in the later stages of the game. Ah, man. You know, NS picks up an Ogre Club knowing that she will actually die very, very quickly to the massive barrage of spells on inside Liquid if she doesn't get some tank. And at least at this point, they might be able to waste 2 spells on her rather than just 1. X-Mike probably has the urn, yep, and just warding and dusting it up. Fluff, after the mechanism, went for the arcane boots. And probably going to pick up smoke or wards. Looks like he's going to go for either 4 staff or Aghanim's. Aghanim's pretty useful on Chen, as looks like that was not in fact his Staff of Wizardry. What is this sorcery? As Korok and X-Mike, no frost by NS. Gonna be a Blinken and Skewer attempt by Tamewild, but nice juking by Liquid, as they're gonna escape. And again, Virtus.Pro roaming with all 5. Really means that they're going to be outfarmed at this point if they continue to roam like this. So Liquid actually coming back into this game despite being down by 3 kills. They do have a slight... No, tower count yet again is even. Apparently I just need to learn how to count. Too difficult for me. But Liquid gonna group up. They want to fight and engage him, but no detection. Try to catch off Santa. Double dust gonna go on, and looks like the roar is gonna go on Santa, but a nice reverse gonna catch off 2 heroes. Bulba and Korok gonna be stunned in place, but already used their roar as Virtus.Pro Tamewild taking a lot of damage. Here comes BKB Gyrocopter being absolutely untouched. Korok, can he actually do anything against this Gyrocopter? 2 for 2 engagement. Tamewild escapes just by his hairs on his chin. No, just kidding, he died. 3 for 3 as looks like the Leshrac died as well, and now Airman still relatively untouched, does have pretty much full mana, full HP. Can they catch off TC? Fluff is most likely gonna die if he ever manages to reveal himself. Gonna try to save the life of TC. Fluff is gonna forfeit his life to save his ally. What a nice guy. As TC trying to get a kill on NS, but unfortunately unable to do so. So victory in favor of Virtus.Pro. Gyrocopter went untouched that entire duration of the team fight. And that reverse, again, catching off both Korok and Bulba, who represent a huge portion of physical DPS at this point in the game, means that Gyrocopter can pretty much go unscathed for the vast majority of the battle means that Virtus.Pro won that team fight, albeit with heavy casualties. But still, Gyrocopter did not die, and working his way towards his next time, whether it be Chrysalis or MKV. Probably a Chrysalis because he has a Demon Edge, so gonna go for that Bariza, or Daedalus, my bad. And Virtus.Pro just gonna attempt to Roshan. So Liquid, again, thwarting that engagement. At the very least, no track kills went on the side of Virtus.Pro because Bounty Hunter was the first person to die in that engagement. But a slight gold advantage towards Virtus.Pro. And the experience advantage is going to start leveling off. But now Gyrocopter is going to become very, very dangerous because after that nice team fight being taken by Gyrocopter, as they fought in a really clumped up area, not too sure why Liquid decided to take that engagement unless they could initiate on Magnetar, but just really want to force a fight for whatever reason. And ultimately pay their lives. As now that's going to greatly accelerate Gyrocopter's farm towards his next big item after that really, really successful team fight. And he has an Aegis on top of that. Not looking good for Liquid at this point. But Liquid, very, very strong team. We'll see what they're going to do at this point as drums have been fished on Korok. Just going to continue his farm. Looks like BFFs, IX Mike and Korok going to continue their farm train. But Virtus.Pro just going to charge all 5 mid. Again, they have a blink reverse on Magnetar. Who is going to go for BKB rather than a Refresher? Probably a smart move. If something like the Wisp orbs disable that dagger, or even a Chen creep that could be really, really very annoying. As somehow Santa just got absolutely annihilated, but there's going to be initiation on to Korok and IX Mike again, going to get 2-man reverse. Korok manages to heal himself up to full HP, going to cast the Phantasm as well as the BKB, unable to kill NS just yet, managed to finally kill off NS, but Airman Illidan in the battle, trying to do as much damage as possible, stuns Aegis up as Tamerlad blinks back in, as Fluff is most certainly going to die, but at least Aegis was given up. Leshrac manages to die as well, as TC doing so much work in these team fights, and looks like Liquid come out on top, surprisingly enough. I thought for sure after the reverse, but really Santa's just being isolated, being caught in position one too many times. And that's going to allow Liquid to really come out ahead in that team fight. So a very, very back and forth game. Completely unexpected considering how good Virtus.Pro's early game was. But now, again, another BKB charge down the drain for the Gyrocopter. And gave up his Aegis, so that means a little bit more careful playing by Virtus.Pro for the most part. But Vlad's has been fished on Santa. They really want to have the Vlad's and the track for these team fights. Even if it doesn't give minus armor, it does give you a nice target to focus down and say, alright, kill the guy who's tracked. We'll get a lot of gold. But we can see just the maneuverability. The one problem with Virtus.Pro's lineup is that they're not nearly as mobile as Liquid's lineup. As TC can just sort of blink around, and IX Mike with that move speed can just sort of run around as well. And very important in that battle is that Korok did not die, and actually managed to make significant use towards his BKB. And usually in the mid to later stages of the game, if the Chaos Knight doesn't get out to a really good early game start, he has a lot of trouble making his way to the late games because he gets most of his items on the back of killing. But the fact that he was able to survive means that he'll be able to save his gold, maybe make his way towards a big damage or most likely a heart in this situation, just try to out-tank Virtus.Pro. Goldgraph still in favor of the Dire, interestingly enough. But most of it, I imagine, is from the Roshan, which is pretty much 1k or 1.3k in favor of the Dire. Because Santa unable to really make too many track kills happen. As, excuse me, my voice sounded like a dead frog for a moment. As I'm not too sure how dead frogs could talk, but that's what my voice would sound like if you could put a description to it. We got Liquid climbing ahead in experience, but really experience doesn't mean too much at this point. When it's 30 minutes in the game and the experience is relatively equal, experience won't really play too big of a factor. What could play a big factor is that the MKB has been fished. Interestingly enough, didn't go for the Crystallis and to Daedalus build. Instead went for the MKB. Not too sure why you do that. Maybe he just doesn't like the fact that Daedalus was slightly nerfed, but just having the chance to crit off a flak damage strike, I think is just so much more important. But maybe he just prefers a bit more of the consistent DPS of the MKB. And it does give them a proper way to push uphill. Because if Leshrac dies, there's really not a good point for VP to really push uphill if they manage to win a successful engagement. And if VP, again, are fighting on the underside of a cliff, they really want to have Gyrocopter hit all of his flat cannon hits. Meanwhile, Korok banking up a lot of money. TC probably going to go for the Hex, already finished the Hex. So TC gonna be a huge problem for Virtus.Pro. If he blinks in and hexes the Magnetar, then it could be essentially a giant team wipe for Liquid, because they are really making good use of the Magnetar ultimates, who's always catching at least 2 heroes in every engagement for the most part. So nice playing by Tamo Wild. But still, Virtus.Pro gonna roam in. I don't think that Centroid may have spotted them, but Liquid looks like they know what's up. I guess the Hawk or the Centroid might have spotted him. It is daytime, so Centroid had slightly more vision. Might have been able to just catch the edge of the Virtus.Pro movement. As that sounds like a fantastic name for a band, the Virtus.Pro movement. As Fluff not only getting a nice creep in the form of the Ogre Magi, giving them Frost Armor, but managed to get 2 Centaurs stunning and giving them some attack speed. So Chaos Knight gonna attack very rapidly. He essentially has...
Radiant's middle tower is
Come on.
under attack.
As it's going to be Roar being casted onto Santa. Santa, once again, going to be the first casualty of Roar, but Tamo Wild trying to get in position, gets a Skewer off. But again, you can't cast during Skewer, and looks like 2 kills already going in favor of Virtus.Pro. Going to pick off NS with the Chaos Bolt. Nice job by Korok. He's going to get sent right back home. 2 for 2 engagement. Fluff going to be caught out in a very terrible position, going to get stunned at the last instant. As, man... Not too sure how Liquid, I thought with the stuns on Santa and the fact that Magnus couldn't really get a good reverse off, I thought Liquid could have had that, but again, not too sure why they're trying to fight in these small engagements. Definitely favors Virtus.Pro because Gyrocopter, Leshrac, all their damage really hits their peak in really clumped up areas like this. On the last Liquid engagement, they did fight here, but it was slightly more spread out because the trees were cut down by the axes. So Liquid can't really fight in these giant clumped up scenarios, and that's pretty much the worst reverse polarity of the game for Tamo Wild. Only hit 1 hero, but still Liquid lost it. And that could be a bit troubling because the BKB duration on the side of CK going down, and Gyrocopter not dying in these engagements, and can make his way towards his next big item. So I think advantage slightly in favor of Virtus.Pro now, as they managed to get 1 kill up against Liquid in that engagement. And again, the Hex not really able to do too much. I feel bad for Santa, always being isolated down, but still making his way towards the Ogre Club, trying to get some farm. But still, what is the next move by Liquid? Probably trying to wait out the Roshan, but Roshan won't be back for the next 2.5 minutes. My god, what's wrong with me? Anyway, NS continuing to ward up. Gonna go for his own mecha. Looks like Virtus.Pro not really buying as many wards. They are keeping a nice amount of wards up. Leshrac and CM probably splitting the duty. They both want to get BKBs, because that will effectively neutralize a lot of the Sonic Wave damage. Especially with that Aghanim, Sonic Wave hurts quite a bit. 725 damage, my god. That is a dreadful nuke. And CM does want to pick up the mecha eventually. And the question is, what will Illidan go for now? As Korok can reveal himself, but not going to take too much damage, just a couple pot shots here and there. And maybe a missile to the face, which hurts less for the most part than Gyrocopter auto attack. Sad as that is. As it's going to be blinking, trying to catch off Ixmike, but Ixmike managed to get the tether away. Frostbite to the ground. Ixmike going to heal up Mechanism. And a lot of spells being used to save the life of Ixmike, but nice play by Fluff, sending him home at the last instant with that test of faith. Keep in mind, Magnus did not use the reverse, so not all was lost for Liquid or Virtus.Pro in that engagement. And Virtus.Pro gonna have to defend. Their bottom tower is being pushed, their top lane has a lot of farm that can go in the pockets, and Bounty Iron definitely wants that BKB. But Bulba trying to spy out Magnetar. And he knows Wisp and Chaos Knight do have the relocate gank going on, as Queen of Pain trying to get a Hex off, but Bulba being spied out. And Bulba went for the gem rather than anything like a Necro Book. I guess he wanted that detection ASAP. But this could be the mark of a giant engagement Already IX Mike pretty low in terms of HP, gonna get shockwaved, but ultimately gonna pay the price, as I think the tether broke. A little bit miscommunication by Liquid again. So IX Mike caught out a little bit by himself there. And that's very significant. The tether stun really is doing a lot. And especially the attack speed that he can give Chaos Knight could be pretty brutal. But now he's going to be out of the picture for 40 seconds. And that's going to give Virtus.Pro a nice boost in momentum. Will they stun Korok? Are they going to initiate on him? Probably just going to try to kill the Rocket, but that is going to drive Korok back. And really not too many solid forms of initiation for Liquid. They don't have anything like a blink in reverse. They do have the long range of Roar. As what the heck happened there? Chaos Knight just strode forward confidently, but ultimately got sent home by the test of faith. But that means Virtus.Pro going to take a tower for free, and that means that Gyrocopter can pick up his next big item. And he's going to have enough for buyback relatively soon. Has the Butterfly in the picture? Man, I don't know for Liquid anymore. Butterfly gives Gyrocopter a huge boost in terms of DPS, not only in attack speed, which doesn't really matter for Gyrocopter, considering Flat Cannon has a relatively long cooldown, but does give him some nice evasion, gives him some armor, and attack speed without Flat Cannon, still very, very good. Allows him to put a lot of DPS without that Flat Cannon on. The Roshan is up. Again, you see the gold and experience graph dipping in favor of Virtus.Pro. Still nothing super significant that cannot be overcome, but Chen losing a lot of his relevance. Meanwhile, Crystal Main pretty much building towards the late game, so she's not really losing too much relevance either. I think for the most part, all these supports going to be pretty relevant. Chen with the Hand of God, in conjunction with the Wisp tether, will give double the healing to whoever the Wisp is tethered to, as there's going to be initiation onto NS. No, they are not going to do so, as IX Mike is going to get stunned in place. Again, Gyrocopter picks up the Aegis. Nice roar by Bulba, going to stun Airman for a large majority of the time. That is going to proc the Aegis. No, Gyrocopter so tank finally does die, but that's going to buy a lot of CK's BKB time. Nice reverse by Airman, or Tame My Wild, gonna get the shockwave. Korok, can he escape? No, he's gonna pay the price, as Bubble gonna try to go search it out, but he's gonna die as well. TC is the only remaining survivor on the side of Liquid. As, man, Gyrocopter super tank. That evasion doing so much work. And the fact that he could pretty much run out all of CK's BKB just by himself. Very, very important. As again, BKB charges are only gonna go down and down. 6 seconds left on the BKB for the CK. And all they lost was Crystal Main. Meanwhile, is it time for Korok to buy back? Trying to wait it out as long as possible, but gonna have to buy back if he wants to defend the racks. TC trying to do as much as he can, but he's gonna get screwed back with the IX Mike strapped right to him. Again, IX Mike dies once again, and they're gonna forfeit their racks. I guess Korok felt it wasn't worth it if both he and Bulba couldn't buy back, so they're just gonna give up the racks. Keep in mind, Wisp, very, very potent backdoor initiator, but still, the only tower they can backdoor is sort of this one. And more towers going into the pocket of Virtus.Pro, and for once Santa finally survived engagement, able to get a lot of track kills, and gonna have his BKB shipped towards him. Again, Helm Dominator being shipped towards the Gyrocopter, gonna give him some nice lifesteal. It's going to be initiation by TC, going to stun Santa in place. BKB not yet delivered, but it looks like Tamal going to get initiation as well. Reverse player still on cooldown, or maybe he whiffed it. No, it's back up, but he might just die in exchange. Not going to use the reverse. Nice decision by Tamal, as he does have buyback. Again, 100 seconds without reverse is definitely 100 seconds you don't want to be without. But NS is going to die as well, as the initiation by TC definitely threw Virtus.Pro for a bit of a loop. They're like, why are you doing that? We still have all 5 heroes alive. But nice job by Liquid. But unfortunately, since they fought that fight so deep in their own territory, they are unable to get any towers in exchange for that. So they're gonna have to go back to farming. And the question is, what will TC go for next? Again, the BKB's making it very difficult for the side of Liquid to really maneuver around. They really want to have stuns by Chaos Knight and the massive magical outbursts by Queen of Pain and the Hex to really play a huge role, but when 3 of the targets are magic immune for a large duration of the time, it's not looking pretty, as Gyrocopter fished a full satanic, my god. So even when that BKB is down, he can steal a lot of life, and he's very, very tanky with that evasion to boot. Man, as Chaos Knight not going for an MKB, trying to finish the heart. But still, Liquid in a very, very bad position at this point. No tier 2 towers remain. One set of racks down. Still two tier 2s left on the side of Virtus.Pro. And Virtus.Pro have an incredibly farmed gyrocopter. But still, Liquid do have the teamwork and communication. As look at the goal graph. Holy smokes. You saw in that last giant Roshan engagement. Whoop! It's like a roller coaster, bro. It's literally Kingdom Ka for this graph. Just a giant drop going at 100 miles an hour. Experience graph, again, doesn't really mean too much at this stage of the game. Everybody's already hitting their highest levels of peak. And more experience you have means that you're going to have a lot more time to respawn. But it does give you some stats, so, you know, a bit of a trade-off as Virtus.Pro not content with waiting around. Gonna smoke up, look for another engagement. Trying to take it to Liquid. Can they get initiation on TC? As looks like Liquid said something's up. Did they have a Hawk in the picture? No, I don't see a Hawk. But maybe just timed out. As I guess they spotted out the smoke attempt. Liquid playing super defensive. Korok gonna reveal the fact that, alright, I still have an armlet, guys. Are you really gonna try to blow a lot of damage on me? But if they do kill off Korok, he doesn't have buyback. And looks like Virtus.Pro just gonna try to hunt the jungle, but nobody's in the jungle, the mighty jungle. So the bounty hunter will roam tonight unimpeded. As I feel like the supports on the side of Liquid are fading out much more quickly than the supports on the Dire, because Crystal Maiden as a mechanism is quite tanky. Meanwhile, Fluff only has a Vlad's IX Mike has been dying so often, can't really get too much accomplished, and Wisp can't really get too many relocate kills. So it's not looking that good for the side of Liquid. Their supports are going to drop in terms of relevance, and I think Gyrocopter, considering the advantage he has on CK, can just outcarry CK, especially with the help of Reverse. Man, when you have the best spell in the game, and when Magnus finally finishes the BKB, or he's had it for quite a bit of time already, but can finally start making his way towards that Refresher. If Refresher is finished on the side of Virtus.Pro, I think it might be GG. But still, Liquid do have a solid opportunity. I feel like they just need to roar and lock down Gyrocopter for as long as possible. And just try to chain stun him to death, but it's easier said than done. But Virtus.Pro, not one to sitting around, just going to seek as many engages as possible. This is probably any other team, they just farm up for the next 4 minutes. But this is Russian Dodo. They don't care. They know they got bad manners, and they're going to use that. They're going to frustrate you, and they're just going to take it to you constantly. But Bounty Hunter can start building towards some DPS items as well. So the question is, what can Liquid do? Again, I think the best option is just isolating Gyrocopter. He doesn't have boots of travel yet. Just try to kill him, lock him down. That removes a lot of the portion of DPS, but the problem with that is that you will clump up, and that means a reverse. So while you isolate the Gyrocopter with Roar and Chaos Bolts, I think TC gonna have to go man mode and try to get off a lucky Hex before Magnus can BKB out. I'm not too sure, because it's not like a Crystal Main and Leshak just gonna stand around while you do that. So really, you know, it's easy to say you can do all these things. You can smoke up, go for relocate ganks, but it's a lot harder to put into practice. Because the other team sort of knows about this, and they will take the steps to avoid that catastrophic situation altogether. Still, Liquid doing the best they can. They're still holding on. They have an E-Blade up on Quap. Interesting. Maybe realizing there's no pipe up. And also, maybe when the BKB is down on the side of Gyrocopter, it is only up for 5 seconds. No! Still 7 seconds. Wow, Gyrocopter not even using BKB for a lot of these engagements, even though he was the first person in the game to get a BKB. Just says, I don't need it, I have lifesteal. But that is going to prevent Gyrocopter from attacking for about 3 seconds. So that's pretty good. Virtus.Pro trying to take map control. Now they're playing a bit more safe, realizing Roshan's going to spawn in about 3.5 minutes, so just going to play a little bit safer. Empower is abound, and that's one of the benefits of having Gyrocopter with not using the BKB. The Empower by Magnetar are going to give him so much plus damage. Look at the damage, man! Essentially, 460 damage at a furious rate. That can't miss. That also life steals. How much life steal is that? 25%, so he's stealing for 100 damage every hit. Man. And that's why Gyrocopter doesn't really need to use the BKB. He's stealing life 100 damage every time he attacks. So it's just, and Gyrocopter has buyback. Magnus. Magnus has buyback. Leshrac. Almost buyback. CM. Doesn't have buyback, but she's a CM. As it's gonna be initiation, gonna catch off Illidan, but a reverse again, unable to get off the Gyrocopter. And look at the Satanic! Look at the Satanic! There is a reason why it is so evil of an item. Just gonna steal back all the damage. Korok not gonna give up, just gonna man up as the Phantasms finally die. Leshrac gonna die as well as the reverse. Again, Gyrocopter's so tanky. And they have to focus so much of their attention, means that they can't really disable the Magnetar. And Magnetar just blinked in and got the reverse that might just end the game. Virtus.Pro push down the middle lane, probably switch to the top lane, considering that they still have a tier 2 bottom, or they might just go for the throne. They do have Empower, and it looks like they are going to go for the throne. Can Liquid actually defend this? No buyback on CK, no buyback on Chen and Bulba. I mean, no buyback on him either. So this might just be the end of the game. Man. As E-Blade's going to go off, but that means that exposing himself to the stuns as Wisp is going to teleport back in. And man, reverse polarity, guys. It's pretty good, but the story of the game was Illidan putting in a lot of work. As GGs are called. Feel a little bit bad for Liquid, because they did get kind of BM'd in that middle lane engagement where Korok died. But still, Virtus.Pro overall played a more solid of a game, and Liquid were able to come back after that moment, make a lot of things happen. So Virtus.Pro trying to turn things back around, and Liquid continued their streak of not beating super well-known teams just yet. But Liquid, still quite a young roster. I'm sure they're going to turn around in time. But as it is, it looks like they're going into the losers bracket of the Defense 3. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this game and enjoy this commentary. Thanks for watching. The streak goes on. So keep on supporting, and I'll keep on doing what I'm doing. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.